with the homies. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze because oppression is shitting on us. And then oppression needs a foot up its ass. So we will cleanse oppression by fire. Yes, yes, I love this. I am so very excited and appreciative and glad that y'all have made some time to hang out with your homegirl today. We've got a good show in store. Um, you know, you know, guys. You guys know. I guess most of y'all do know. I have a media background. Like I'm just not some YouTube bitch up here. I guess at the moment I am just some YouTube bitch up here. But prior to just being some YouTube bitch, I used to have a broadcasting career on the radio, a teeny bit on television, etc., etc. Howsoever, when you have politics like me, and when you don't take shit from men and white folks, the professional road can be a little tough for you. It can get a little rocky. So imagine my surprise on Monday, on yesterday, when it was revealed that two top media personalities prominent in cable news, not good, prominent. There's a difference, right? Unceremoniously found their current positions terminated. As you guys know, Tucker Carlson has taken a shot at yours truly. So, whilst usually I do not rejoice when media people are terminated or let go, because it's a tough business. I understand that. Not for the chief white supremacy propagandist. I do not hold those feelings of empathy nor compassion for Tucker Carlson. So I'm going to get into that. In addition to Don Lemon's unceremonious termination as well, a little bit later in the show, because y'all know. Until you do right by me, ain't nothing good, nothing good gonna come to you. There's that. There's that. And I got some other shit I'm gonna talk about. But let me big up to my folks. That's checking in. Shirley! What's up, Shirley? Love to see you in here, sissy. Sister girl. I love to see Shirley in here. Peace, Franny France. What's up to my son Tyler? Hey there, Holly and Wendy. Holly and Wendy, are y'all typing from the same keyboard? Because I swear to God, I feel like every time I see Holly name, I see Wendy name. I said, are they in the same room? Are they the same person typing from different accounts saying what's up? Either way, I appreciate Holly and Wendy. What's going on? Who else we got in here? Ooh, Donnie's in here. Hey, Dawn, afraid not. Love to see you. Franny France, of course, my sweetie girl. Who else we got in here? Valley Girls. Love to see you in here too as well. Did I see Spin Cycle Dragon? Ooh, there's Vesper. What's up, Vesper? Who else did I see? Fuck, I can't remember. Oh, it's other people. Is it the same? Yup. Mr. Evans. Miss Evans. Oh, big up to Jody P. Shout out to Jody P. Jody P. ran us some Cash App support on Friday. So I wanted to thank Jody P so much for their support of the channel. And I'm gonna go on and get into the things. Did I see Spin Cycle Dragon? What's up, Nawadi? Good to see you in here, baby. Shout out to my good folks who I know are gonna be coming through. 40 J Blaze, hopefully my mods. What's up to Latif and of course Court, Chuck Diesel as well. Everybody, what's up? So anyway, I wanted to begin the show um marking the transition of a towering giant who is now an ancestor. The news came down today after we signed off of the Remix Morning Show, but this morning it was announced that Harry Belafonte has passed away at the age of 96. And you guys, especially those of a certain age, Tyler, I want you to pay attention, especially folks that are Gen X and older. We may have some boomers in here. I don't know. But you guys, I'm only going to be brief in my comments about Harry Belafonte because I assure you, I do not have the depth to fully get into what Harry Belafonte was able to accomplish. But let me talk to you guys about a couple of things that have stood out to me about Harry Belafonte and the role of the activist artist, as Mr. Belafonte described himself. He said that he was an activist who turned into an artist, not an artist who turned into an activist. And he always seemed to place his priorities for social justice even above that of his own career or his own celebrity. And to the point of his celebrity, Harry Belafonte, they don't make them like this anymore, everybody. And honestly, I feel as though Belafonte is sort of the litmus test, or perhaps even the reason now that we see far fewer radical with politics black celebrities, because Harry Belafonte, I feel like they give him, like, they give new artists, new actors, new singers, whomever, new people that would be the darlings of Hollywood, or potentially have a career in show business. I feel like the people in charge, the powers that be, probably give these new black artists in particular a litmus test, the Belafonte litmus test. Are you radical? Do you think black people should be free? And if you say yes to either of those things, a career not you should have. But Harry Belafonte came at an era where the merging of celebrity, black celebrity, some black celebrity, certainly not all black celebrities of his era, were in support or in favor of civil rights movement and other things to help advance black people. But Harry Belafonte surely was. He used his influence to help, integrate certain movie sets and venues, and he stood shoulder to shoulder with all the all-stars of the civil rights movement that you can think of, from Malcolm to Martin to Medgar, Miriam Kaba. I mean, not Miriam Kaba, I'm sorry, Miriam McKay. Oh my god, it's Makeda. My apologies, I just drew a blank. I got my Miriams confused. I had the opportunity to interview Harry Belafonte, and if you're a member of the channel, you can go to Kim's Lost Tapes and listen to the interview. As an audio only interview. It's something that I conducted when I was working for The Voice of Russia, and I believe the interview was done back in 2012. How did I come to interview Harry Belafonte? One of my family members that made some significant civil rights news in their day. And Mr. Belafonte was visiting Little Rock, and I happened to be there. And we were in sort of a conference room. It was Harry Belafonte, again, about 10 years ago. So that would have made him about 85 or 86. It was Harry Belafonte, his wife, and a couple other people. And I had to catch myself, everybody, because I was staring at him, like staring at him. Now, mind you, by this point, I've met some folks, okay? Like, I'm not bedazzled by famous people or by celebrity, but I understood the magnitude of the man whose presence I happened to be in, who was only sitting a few feet away from me. And I caught myself. I'm like, Kim, you can't just be staring at this man. And I mean, not ogling him, from in a weird way, but again, just understanding who he is, who he was. Well, I guess I can't say even who he was, because one thing about Harry Belafonte, he was consistent. He talked that pro-black shit whole way. You know what I'm saying? He didn't simmer it down with age. He didn't simmer it down for opportunity. He kept that same energy, that exact same energy. And also, even at 85, 86 years old, you guys, I mean, he was a bit of a looker. I can't even front. You could look at him and clearly see, like, the handsome man that he still was as a mature gentleman. But remember that Harry Belafonte was a bit of a stunner out here. He was a cutie patootie. He is Jamaican, right? My Caribbean, my island massive. Because Sidney Poitier was Bahamian and Harry, I believe, was of Jamaican descent, but a New Yorker through and through. He did spend time in Jamaica, the whole day-o, the calypso. He came to that very earnestly. As he got older, the reason he had sort of that strange effect on his voice, like his vocal cords, he explained that because he was not a classically trained singer or theater stage actor, when he was projecting as the stage actors of the 50s and I guess the 60s, had to do, he was projecting towards the back of the audience, the auditorium, the theater, and he wasn't doing it right. So he ended up straining his voice, actually permanently injuring his voice, and that's why his voice ended up sounding the way that it did later on in his life. But it definitely marks the end of an era, especially for that aspect of Black Hollywood. We lost Cicely Tyson a couple of years back, and then Sidney Poitier last year, Harry Belafonte. Of course, when I think of that sort of constellation of Black thespians, I'm put in the mindset of Ozzie Davis and Ruby Dee, and of course, still with us, James Earl Jones. Like, I hate the way that the term legendary and icon is so loosely and casually and frivolously tossed around, because everybody under 35 think every fucking thing is iconic and legend. And no, that's when we need new words to describe people like Harry Belafonte, because the current lexicon for legendary and icon does not describe what this man is, or people who current day get described as icon ain't nowhere near, nowhere near the giant gigante that Harry Belafonte is. So I just wanted to acknowledge Mr. Belafonte, his passing, his work, his commitment, his dedication to our people. You know, uh, he kept a white wife, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? His white wives had to be with the revolutionary shit at least. So it's like, bruv, it's you love who you love, Mr. Belafonte. No hard feelings. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But seriously, it's not even a sad day. It is a day to mark a remembrance and honoring a transition. At 96 years old, Harry Belafonte put his foot in the world's ass, and it was a privilege to meet him, even more of an honor to speak with him and interview him. And like I said, if you want to check out that interview, if you're a member, it's available right there on Kim's Lost Tapes, the playlist, and you should become a member if you want to check that out. So I wanted to acknowledge Mr. Belafonte real quick. Let me take a tiny break. A tiny break. Because I don't really have a lot of news. I'm about to talk a lot of shit. I'm about to talk a lot of shit. I'm about to talk a lot of shit. No news shall be broken on today, guys. God forbid anything major is occurring right now in the world, because that's just going to get ignored on this here channel. Shirley, stop laughing at me, Shirley. Shirley, if you come to the Incubus concert with me, I might come out to Indianapolis, but you have to pick me up and hang out with me and go with me everywhere. So we'll talk about that later, Shirley. We'll talk about that later. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the thumbs up, please, on the video. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Subscribe to my people's channels as well. I know everybody over here subscribe to BPM, but if you're not, go subscribe to BPM. If you're not already subscribed to Status Quo, go subscribe to Status Quo, and go subscribe to Kelechi Okafor's YouTube channel as well, because Kelechi has started to put the Say Your Mind podcast in the video form. So I want to, I'm in no position to get anybody's followers up, but I appreciate what Kelechi does and her product and her output. So I encourage you. And plus, we support righteous Black women over here. We don't support them bum bitches like Kamala Harris. We support righteous bitches like Kelechi Okafor. So that is that. All right, let me get into a bit of gloat. Because last week I had to eat some crow because I thought I thought people was white and I was wrong. I was wrong. They was not white and I was wrong. So I had to eat some crow last week, but god damn it, at least I get to have some sugar on today. So, like I said, no shocker here. Well, no, let me stop faking. Hold on, skirt me, put my braids. A bit of a shocker. Monday's news. Tucker Carlson out at Fox News. I said, look at karma. Look at karma. But is it really karma when this nigga was making 15 to $20 million a year? Is it really karma? Is it really karma? When Tucker Carlson has probably made $100 million plus from Fox News, and then one day he shows up and he's fired. Nigga, fire me with $100 million in the bank, please. Please, please. So Tucker's not exactly suffering out here, but we shall take some pleasure in his misfortune and I hope in some way humiliation. Because can you imagine having a top rated show and not even being given the professional courtesy that Fox was not fucking with you no more? And I guess Don Lemon experienced that a little bit later in the day at CNN, but we're gonna get into Donnie Lemon here in a second. But for those of you who may not be familiar, why I have such a distinct personal animus for Tucker Carlson, it's not because he's a Fox News host. It's not even because he's a white supremacist. That's kind of what I expect out of Fox. I don't have any expectations of them not being propagandists for white supremacy. Is that but the real reason I don't fuck with Tucker Carlson is because Tucker Carlson put my name in his mouth. My name in his mouth, right? And the way that Tucker Carlson even came to mention me was just some fugazi nonsense. It was a masterclass in how specifically Black women and their comments, leftist radical commentary on America, on capitalism, on white supremacy, etc., how those comments can get amplified by the right wing cacophony of their echo chamber and just go from my clip from a show that I did after the murder of George Floyd, how a clip that I said that was put on our Twitter channel got picked up by what's the dude's name from Malaysia? Random nigga. Ian Chung. Some rando rando conservative. Hey, but he's got a big following. He put it on his shit. Then it got picked up by the post millennial. Then I think even Andy Go's bitch ass put the shit up on his shit. And next thing I know, I'm on fucking Tucker Carlson. I'm like, how did this happen? But let me take y'all down memory lane. When Tucker Carlson, again, had the audacity to put my name in his motherfucking mouth. Run that shit, Will, please. Thank you.
Here's a clip from a show called Burn It Down with Kim Brown. You can get it on iTunes. You can watch it on any number of social media platforms, none of which has even considered censoring it. As you watch, ask yourself, how much influence should someone like this have over the country where your family lives?
For the record, I support all that. I support them looting the damn Dollar Tree. I support the looting of what other did they loot? Like the advanced auto parts. I remember last year they looted Target. I support all that. Loot all that. You know why? Because Black people and marginalized and oppressed people could loot every store in this whole country for 200 years. It would not even come close to the debt that America owes us. Tear all that up. Tear it up. Because really, that's the language. That's the only language this country understands.
Tear it up, she says, burn it down. So how are people in charge responding to this? Well, we're pretty sure the FBI isn't at Kim Brown's house tonight. We're confident that 60 Minutes isn't planning some extensive hit piece on her. No, those are reserved for Florida governors. In America's many newsrooms, Kim Brown is not considered a threat to anyone. She's considered an ally. Who's the threat? It's people who didn't vote for Joe Biden. They must be hounded into submission by the American news media.
The audacity of hoes. The audacity of hoes. Now I'm mad all over again because this nigga tried to send the feds to my fucking house, guys. Did y'all hear that shit? I mean, preeminent snitching. And when I think about the audience, the nightly audience that Tucker Carlson's show drew in, 3 million, 2 million, how many? Anyway, I can tell y'all how many motherfuckers sought me out after that. A lot. Everywhere. Instagram DMs, Twitter DMs, email, Facebook. Motherfuckers was finding me, dog, talking shit. Why? Because Tucker Carlson, like every good Klansman, is able to quickly assemble a mob of like-minded fuckboys and girls with their little tiki torches and send it after people like me, right? And again, to this day, I still find the shit so comical and so hilarious. I mean, not to say that I wanted Tucker Carlson to sick his troll army on somebody else per se, but it was just funny to me. I'm like, dog, do you know how many fucking people you had to jump over to look over to get to little old me? And we still little out here. And he put me on the Summer Jam screen when we was even smaller than what we is now. So, I mean, it was just typical fuck boy shit, right? You want to talk about somebody with a bully pulpit. Tucker Carlson knew exactly what he was doing. And you know what? He is very lucky that truly that violence did not ensue, because for people who were even following me at that time, I told y'all, and I meant that shit. I had the shotty at the ready, Slim. Okay. Like, I was getting death threats from these white supremacists left, front, and center. I was ready for some fucking nutball ass Tucker Klansman, dispersed Klansman to come to my fucking door. And if Tucker Carlson had have engendered some sort of violence against me, or what I sort of predicted potentially could have happened, would have ended up fomenting violence against one of his followers because I was ready for that action, would it have been a big deal? Would anybody have cared? Would anybody posted my bail? Because anyway, it was not a joke situation for me. I can laugh at it now because of the ridiculousness of it, but I'm also immediately brought back to how I felt in that moment. Because Tucker Carlson's kind of followers are the white folks you kind of don't want to ignore because of who they are, descended from. Like, these are the folks that came to our people's side of town and burnt down countless towns, black side of towns, burnt them to the ground, hung our ancestors from trees, lynched us, raped us, did all this shit. Those descendants are Tucker Carlson's current audience, and I could not take them people just for play. I had to take them a little bit seriously. But circling back, I'm sorry. Let me simmer down. Okay, circling back. So Tucker got the boot. Now, why did Tucker get the boot? People want to know. Inquiring minds want to know all over the place. And I think a very easy correlation can be drawn between the timing of Tucker Carlson's firing and the announcement of Fox News settling with Dominion voting systems for what, $780 million, about half of what Dominion was asking for in a settlement. But the settlement was reached the day that the jury was going to be seated and the trial was going to begin. And the fact that Fox settled, I think, had a lot to do with the fact that Rupert Murdoch, Tucker Carlson, all these other people were going to be called to testify. They were absolutely going to be called to testify. And Tucker Carlson was going to be forced to reveal his true feelings about the election scandal under oath. I guess assuming he told the truth. Who the fuck really knows? Truthiness is subjective to the likes of Tucker Carlson and Rupert Murdoch. But were they under oath and felt compelled to tell the truth, they would have had to say their real feelings, as has been already released in documents. I guess who released them shits? The Dominion. The text messages allegedly between Tucker Carlson and some other Fox News staffers, where Carlson himself admitted to not believing or subscribing to the election denialism. In fact, making some offhanded comments about some of his bosses or other Fox News executives. So, and I'm also kind of curious how that was all able to come out. I'm assuming some of that was gleaned in discovery, and I'm not a lawyer, nor do I pretend to be one. So let me, be judicious here with my legal phrasing. But I'm saying, I'm assuming Tucker Carlson was tucking. He was tucking. I'm sure Tucker Carlson was texting from his personal phone. So I'm wondering how his personal text messages were obtained in a civil lawsuit. Maybe this is too much for my brain to process. I don't even care. Fuck that nigga. At 15 to 20 million dollars annual salary from Fox News, the thing that always amazed me about Tucker Carlson, and no, I'm a little all over the place, so y'all just follow me. Try to trail my thoughts as I can gauge them. Tucker Carlson went from, I know he worked at Heritage, but I thought he even had a gig. Maybe he was even doing C-SPAN before he got to MSNBC, where he used to pal it up with Rachel Maddow on air. Rachel would be like, "It's my good friend Tucker Carlson." I'm like, "Yep, bitch, I bet you Tucker Carlson is your good friend." It says, confirming exactly what I suspected. Tucker Carlson would chum it up with Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. Then he went on over to CNN, where he co-hosted Crossfire, being the world's oldest bow tie wearing dickhead. Did y'all know Tucker Carlson was 53 years old? I bet you he cannot even grow a single whisker of hair on his face. Not a one. If it's not his eyebrows, there's no hair growing on that prepubescent boy's face. I digress. Who's 53? I digress. And then from CNN's Crossfire, which was again a prominent political talk show, at which Tucker Carlson, I would imagine, actually had to have been pretty young doing that, in his 30s, since he's 53 now. And then he's been at Fox for a number of years, where he was batting cleanup behind the likes of Glenn Beck and Bill O'Reilly, etc. He was always sort of like the boy dickhead wonder waiting in the wings for his shot. And when O'Reilly ended up costing the company a lot of money, and then Glenn Beck costing the company a lot of money, Tucker got his shot. And he has been raining down white supremacist propaganda on the rest of us ever since, with his white replacement theory, his attacking of black women like myself. I'm gonna throw Joy-Ann Reid in there because I know Joy has been put on that Tucker Carlson summer jam scream a number of times. And let me say, I mean, y'all, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not something that I'm afraid of, but I can tell you, it's just not fun to experience harassment from a variety of different corners. It's pretty fucking wild. But anyway, so here's Tucker Carlson managing to fall his way up all throughout his media career. And then we get to this point where all of a sudden he is fired, unbeknownst to him, unbeknownst to his representation. And what is the issue? In part, it could have been that big settlement, because a lot of the anti-election denialism, whatever, and the so-called is it libel or slander? I guess it would be slander in the broadcast, the so-called slanderous statements made by Fox against Dominion. A lot of that shit was made on Tucker Carlson's show. Even some of it by Tucker himself. Excuse me. And if you could, Will, could you pop up that Hollywood Reporter piece for me? And at the end of the day, Fox is sort of a unicorn in a lot of ways, guys, because I didn't even fully realize this until I started looking into it. So hold on, I'm sorry, Will, put me back up real quick before because I said I'm a little all over the place. I'm trying to follow my thoughts, and I appreciate you guys being patient here. At $15 to $20 million a year, Tucker Carlson's estimated annual salary. When it comes to broadcasting, usually when you cost the company money, then usually you have to go. When advertisers start jumping ship because of comments that you've made, that's usually a fireable offense, right? I can't recall if I've been fired for that specific reason, but I know of firings that happen along those lines for whatever reason. If the talent says, "Oh, McDonald's gave me the shits," and then, then McDonald's heard the shit and is like, "Nah, we can't. We're gonna take back our $1 million buy," or whatever. Random things. So for the duration of Tucker Carlson's tenure at Fox News, for him to have cost the money that he had in advertising dollars because of a number of online campaigns, and I can't even recall all the advertisers because there's really been that many that have been pressured to withdraw their ad dollars from Fox and from Tucker Carlson's show in particular because of the incendiary, racist, transphobic, homophobic, just deplorable commentary that permeates all the content of his program. Like Tucker Carlson definitely cost the company money. Advertisers withdrew their dollars because of shit that he said, and yet he kept his job. Why did he keep his job? Because Tucker Carlson was a ratings juggernaut. 3 million nightly viewers is nothing to sneeze at, ladies and gentlemen. That is a mighty healthy audience, and it's a dedicated audience. It's a loyal audience. His audience in particular is an older audience, more tethered to the television, less so to their phones and rewatching his clips on YouTube. No, this is appointment television for racists of a certain age. You know what I mean? Like they don't miss Tucker Carlson. So even still, ratings be damned. You cost the company money. How are you still able to keep your job? Well, Fox, and now you can go to the article, Will. So Fox is a unicorn in the sense that their primary revenue source does not necessarily come from advertisers. It comes from the cable carriers themselves. And just earlier this month, I believe it was on April the 1st. Let me pull this up here. Because Fox News has been in negotiations with the nation's largest cable carriers really for about the past 6 months. And this article here was published on the 1st of April, announcing that Fox News Corp, or Fox Corp rather, and Comcast Xfinity had come to terms. Now, Comcast Xfinity has 20 million pay TV customers and is among the largest, if not the largest, cable provider in the country. But it was sort of in doubt whether or not this deal was going to go through. And I actually think that Tucker Carlson's departure it won't ever be disclosed publicly. And by the way, the terms of this deal were not disclosed publicly because basically Fox derives its revenue from the money that cable customers pay providers like Comcast, Xfinity, and Verizon Fios and Charter and others. So in your cable package, anybody out there still got cable? I got cable. I definitely have cable. And it sucks that knowing that when I'm paying my provider, that a chunk of that money is going to fucking Fox News. And not an insignificant chunk, by the way. Fox commands a lot from these cable carriers in terms of the money that they receive directly from companies like Comcast and Verizon and the like. So that is how Fox is able to remain so profitable, even despite that they lose advertisers left and right because of the wild, often false, definitely racist, and all the other ists out there, that type of commentary. Like they don't lose money really. It's wild. And so that's how Tucker Carlson has been able to remain in position for as long as he has. But I'm wondering if even behind the scenes, as the terms of these negotiations between Corporation and these cable carriers, I wonder if they were like, listen, listen, if y'all are going to be broadcasting this kind of shit, the shit that could, I guess what the establishment is really afraid of, the shit that could topple our democracy, right? Those that are still holding on to the mythology of that America's a democracy, and who likely advertisers and companies and corporations, et cetera, but maybe specifically companies like Comcast saw the events of January 6th and they've seen what has happened after January 6th and believe, as well they should, because it's true, that outlets like Fox News helped to stoke the fire that even created a scenario like January 6th. And they are afraid that the rhetoric coming from the likes of Tucker Carlson, Fox News, and those related are actually harmful to the country. but harmful to their interests. And in what way, I'm not exactly sure. I guess if capitalism falls down, then that Comcast stock may not be trading at its current rate. However, I feel as though there was some external pressure, though behind the scene pressure, put on Fox Corporation, because why now? Why now? They cost that is they Tucker Carlson and his cronies cost the company $750 million in a settlement, and I'm sure that did not go unnoticed. But I feel as though it couldn't have been just that. It had to have been that plus something else. Because at the end of the day, I'm good on that, Will. At the end of the day, you are not going to be able to keep a good white supremacist propagandist, the likes of Tucker Carlson, down very long. Even though he did cost Fox News money in part, we can lay some of that blame of that judgment against in favor of Dominion at the feet of Tucker Carlson, but he's profitable to somebody, y'all. Somebody else is going to put Tucker Carlson on. And just look at his track record. Why should we believe that this is the end of Tucker Carlson? He went from MSNBC to CNN to Fox News. Now, some might argue, well, where else is there for him to go? Any fucking where, man. We in the age of the internet. This nigga could do his own shit. And he's sitting on a pile of money because white supremacy pays. Upholding the system of capitalism and extolling its virtues nightly to an audience of millions pays. There is value found in what Tucker Carlson does by the elites. Like he purports the message that keeps America, right? That keeps America racist, that keeps America homophobic, that keeps America beholden to capitalism and this nonsense ethos about our democracy and all this bullshit. Like Tucker Carlson helps to keep that value system in place. He helps to reinforce it, to reassure it even. You think he's going to be out of work long? No. Now, I don't know where he's going. He might even come to YouTube. Do you know how valuable I'm sure YouTube would find Tucker Carlson if you go to his show clips on Fox News? You know how many millions of views Tucker Carlson's clips get? Tucker Carlson's a valuable commodity to the system. And even though he did cost, in settlement and other ways, cost Fox News, his value to the empire, I think, outweighs whatever little crumbs Fox had to pay out in the judgment. So please do not think that Tucker Carlson is out here done. I don't think he's out here done at all. But I am going to take a moment to, oh man, I wish I had a J roll and I forgot to bring one in here. But I am going to bask a little bit in the humiliation because I have experienced that. Like you show up to work. Hey, oh, Kim, so-and-so wants to see you in the office. Oh, okay. Hey, good morning. Come in there, green as shit. Good morning. You've been saying good morning to a motherfucker that's about to end your livelihood. Like, yeah, you should be in there. Good morning. Kim, we just wanted to just have a conversation. Yeah, I've been there, done that. But I assure you, I was not ever walking out of the door with the kind of golden parachute package I'm certain Tucker Carlson walked out of Fox News with. So at the end of the day, to conclude my commentary and my critique, fuck that bitch ass motherfucker. Fuck Tucker Carlson, scrotum face ass. I know he's rolling around in his pile of money, but bitch, you had to endure a little bit of humiliation on your way out of Fox's news headquarters there in Manhattan. I hope they packed your box waiting for you. I hope they had security walk your scrotum face ass out the front door. I hope he endured as much humiliation as anybody else who has had to suffer through a firing, a termination, when they certainly were not expecting him. So fuck you, Tucker Carlson, you little bitch. Sorry. All right, now on to this other little bitch because they fired a bunch of bitches yesterday. Did y'all notice? Bitches was getting fired left and right from cable news. It was interesting, I have to say. I took a little bit of pleasure in it. So anyway, let's get to this other bitch. Fucking Don Lemon. I'm so sorry. Guys, I apologize. I have been cursing all day. I cussed up a storm this morning on BPM, and I don't even know oh, Mercury's in retrograde. There we go. Maybe that also was the catalyst for this spate of firings. Mercury is in retrograde. They said communications, communications is about to get real bad for Tucker Carlson and one Don Lemon. Now, guys, Don Lemon is an interesting cat. He's an interesting cat. The longtime CNN reporter slash anchor, 17 years at CNN, rather impressive. You know, most media people, I mean, that's old school media, one place working for a long time. You don't hear about that. Excuse me. Don Lemon, 17 years at CNN. He too showed up for work. he too showed up for work and found his desk packed the fuck up and security waiting for him and everybody asking him for his key card. Don, do you have the keys to the executive bathroom? We're going to need that back. Don, we're going to send you your Cobra paperwork. Y'all know I've been fired. I know all about the Cobra paperwork. Oh, Lord. Don, we're going to send you your Cobra package. So, send it to your agent. Okay, we get that over to him. Apparently a surprise to Don Lemon because he tweeted that, you know, management did not have the decency to come tell him to his face that he was fired. He had to hear about it through the grapevine, et cetera, et cetera. The reasons why Don Lemon was fired, I cannot even begin to speculate. It's come out in some recent reports. I think there was a GQ profile about Don Lemon, and, you know, some whisperers in the background had alleged that Don had not been nice to some of his woman coworkers. In fact, when I was doing a little bit of research to talk about this today, I found an old piece on Mediaite, and it was from a while ago. Do you guys remember Goldie Taylor? Another light skin they put on TV. Says the light skin, right? Another one of them light skins they put on fucking TV. But she did cable commentary, political commentary for a while, and I found this old piece on Mediaite.com where Goldie Taylor alleged that the reason she's not on CNN anymore is because Don Lemon blacklisted her, basically, or put the word out or said something negative to the higher ups that they don't book her anymore as of the publishing of that piece several years ago. So it doesn't shock me that Don Lemon seems to have a bit of a misogyny problem. You know, we would hope, but, you know, I was going to say we would hope from our LGBTQ brothers, especially, that, you know, understanding the way that homophobia works, that, you know, we would hope our gay brubs would not be misogynist, but they are men at the end of the day. So misogyny, that misogynistic current obviously does not have any sexual orientation preference, because some men just don't like women, or I don't know what it is. But Don Lemon definitely seemed to have that problem. And some are even speculating that his unexpected termination is in part because of the comments that he made recently about former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, where commenting about her age, he said that she was past her prime. I thought that was kind of fucked up, but I actually found a different recent exchange a little bit more telling, and actually, in my opinion, kind of more offensive than what he said about Nikki Haley. Well, maybe if not more offensive, equally as offensive. Let's not say more or less. Yeah, I will put these levels of offense on equal footing. I want to show you guys this, because we're going to hit a couple of Don Lemon's greatest misses. And this was one of them. So this was in relation to a discussion, and this is where the clip is going to pick up, where it's Don Lemon and two women co-hosts. And let me underscore, I say woman on purpose, because when motherfuckers say female, it makes my skin crawl. I hate when women say females. I hate when men say females. Nigga, I think, you know what I think about when I hear females? Crabs. They're male crabs and female crabs. That's how we describe crabs in the state of Maryland. I describe women as women, not his female co-host. No, his women co-host. So anyway, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make that point of distinction really quick. So this clip is going to pick up with Don Lemon and two women co-hosts, and they're discussing the pay disparity between the women's national soccer team and the men's national soccer team. The women's national soccer team, of course, being winners. The American women have won the Women's World Cup a bunch of times, or at least a couple. They done real good, but the men, they don't go no fucking where. They're a bunch of losers, and somehow the men's national soccer team still makes more money than the winners than the women. And the women on this clip are obviously befuddled. And of course, here comes Don Lemon to mansplain the situation. Let's take a listen.
If there is more interest in a men's sport, the business people, the people who make money off of sports, will put that on television because we live in a capitalist society. And if people are interested in that, then there would be more attention and more money would be paid. So it's about the money.
But here's the thing, and this is the point that I was making that goes to that, which is, why is that what people are watching? It's because it's what they're used to watching. Why is it because it's what they're used to watching? Because men were putting men's sports on TV way before women's sports. Yes. So it's the systemic institutionalized thing. No, I'm not done yet.
They are just more interested in it.
But why are they more? But you're missing my point. Why are they more interested? Because men's sports has been around longer. People have been paying attention to it more. There have been these amazing female sports stars that have only become household names in recent decades. That's the point. And I'm saying if they had both started at the exact same point, they both received the same amount of marketing and promotion and all that stuff, and then we got to where we are today, that would be a different point.
Guess what? Big media giants, big advertisers. This is another opportunity to put the money where your mouth is.
I don't believe that's accurate. I respect your point, and I hear what you're saying. I don't believe that's accurate. We live in a capitalist society, and if people can make money off of whatever it is, they are going to exploit it. And there is a reason, and I'm sure it's part of what you are saying, and it's part of what you're saying. And these are conversations that we need to have. But I just think that we are lying to ourselves if we believe that someone cannot sit here and speak the truth to what we're.
Can I read you a headline? This is a fact that my smart producer Annie gave me. Quote from Forbes: "The fastest growing audiences on TV are for women's sports."
Growing.
But that's because the ad dollars go. You're missing the point. They're coming at a later starting point than men's sports were. That's the whole point here.
You bitches are just lesser, says Don Lemon. Nobody wants to watch you hoes run up and down the field. says Don Lemon. Capitalism ain't interested in that shit. It's men or nothing, bitch. What? Let me tell you something. That sort of overt misogyny, I don't think is the reason that Don Lemon got fired. Because, again, this is not his first rodeo saying sideways shit to women on air, right? I really think that it was probably something off air, something that was said to either another coworker. I have a feeling it was not related to anything that Don Lemon has said or that was part of his broadcast. That I don't think that. I think this was something probably a little bit more human relations, right? So do me a favor, Will. Let's cue up that next Don Lemon clip, because I'm going to tell y'all why a respectable ass coon like Don Lemon is going to be A-okay, everybody. And this next clip that I'm about to play is about to sum it all up. Because now, if you think you can't keep a good white supremacist propagandist like Tucker Carlson down, please don't think you can't keep a respectability ass coon like Don Lemon down. Because Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon are who these newsrooms want in their seats, okay? It was, again, hilarious that Tucker Carlson even mentioned that someone like me is an ally in mainstream newsrooms across this country. To the contrary, like you are not going to find, even on so-called black outlets, urban outlets, I'm talking mainstream outlets here, traditional TV and radio, people with my perspectives are not welcome, okay? The stories that I would pitch in the newsroom, not the ones that NBC4 wants to hear, not the ones that even fucking CNN wants to hear. And there's a reason for that. And folks like Don Lemon, we're talking about black folks particularly, not just Don Lemon, who, I mean, I told y'all I don't like to bomb on Joy Reid, but I gotta throw Joy Reid in there. Who else I gotta throw in there? See, I don't watch cable news, so I'm drawing a blank. But even other types of outlets, Charlemagne the God, another one. Like there is a certain type of Negro that gets elevated and gets amplified into these positions because they don't challenge any aspect of the status quo of these systems that most Black people are experiencing, and especially, as me as a woman, that women experience. Those chicks didn't even. Anyway, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm gonna play this clip, and this is why Don Lemon's gonna be fucking K. We'll roll that shit.
Because Black people, if you really want to fix the problem, here's just 5 things that you should think about doing. Here's number 5. And if this doesn't apply to you, if you're not doing this, then it doesn't apply to you. I'm not talking about you. Here's number 5. Pull up your pants. Walking around with your ass and your underwear showing is not okay. In fact, it comes from prison when they take away belts from the prisoner so that they can't make a weapon. And then it evolved into which role a prisoner would have during male-on-male prison sex. The one with the really low pants is a submissive one. You get my point? Number 4 now is the N-word. By promoting the use of that word when it's not germane to the conversation, have you ever considered that you may just be perpetuating the stereotype the massa intended, acting like a nigger? Now, number 3, respect where you live. Start small by not dropping trash, littering in your own communities. I've lived in several predominantly white neighborhoods in my life. I rarely, if ever, witness people littering. I live in Harlem now. It's an historically Black neighborhood. Every single day I see adults and children dropping their trash on the ground when a garbage can is just feet away. Just being honest here. Number 2, finish school. You want to break the cycle of poverty? Stop telling kids they're acting white because they go to school or they speak proper English. A high school dropout makes on average $19,000 a year. A high school graduate makes $28,000 a year. A college graduate makes $51,000 a year. Over the course of a career, a college grad will make nearly $1 million more than a high school graduate. That's a lot of money. And number 1, and probably the most important, just because you can have a baby, it doesn't mean you should, especially without planning for one or getting married first. More than 72% of children in the African American community are born out of wedlock. That means absent fathers. And the studies show that lack of a male role model is an express train right to prison. And the cycle continues.
The school to prison pipeline is also an express lane right to prison there, Don Lemon. And I guess, these Black people that you're wagging your finger at. I just want to know, where's the advice for the white folks? Like where's the advice for the white people? Like if you have all this advice for Black people, basically what you're saying is that white people are living right? Everybody else is living right except for you darkies, says Don Lemon. And here are the 5 tips to success. Number 1, pull your pants up. He borrowed that immediately from Bill Cosby. And to quote one of our great Black leaders, Bill Cosby, pull your pants up. Because clearly young Black children are the only ones sagging their pants, or rather the only ones criticized or criminalized for it. You understand? Like Don Lemon, the way that he lives in this respectability oblivion in which white supremacy doesn't influence Black people's life outcomes, as though racism doesn't affect it, as though lack of healthcare doesn't affect it, as though lack of quality education doesn't affect it. Our team member here at Burn It Down with Kim Brown works in public schools, guys. These kids in school systems that are not serving them drop the fuck out of school because get a degree for what? These niggas, they're not even teaching the kids how to read, do math, any of the basic things, and these children know that. So for all of this advice and finger wagging that Don Lemon does, that is why I call him a coon. And because that is all coon rhetoric, that is all coonish advice. I would love to see that same sort of critique levied at white supremacy, at capitalism, and for Don Lemon to include in his cultural critique of Black folks the ways in which white supremacy, racism, and capitalism impact those exact things that he talked about, right? It's just so preposterous. When I hear respectable Negroes like that talk about what Black folks need to do, because the unspoken thing is that white people are doing it perfectly or doing it better. I said, clearly, you don't know white folks. He talks about, I've lived in several predominantly white neighborhoods, and I can tell you, oh, have you now? Oh, so they don't go knocking over the mailboxes. Again, let me tell you what the white kids I knew who lived in the rich neighborhoods did on the weekends. When they were driving around the country roads, drunk driving, might I add, these kids would take baseball bats and knock over people's mailboxes, right? Is that not vandalism? Is that not a form of litter? They would go to people's farms. I would hear my white classmates from high school come in Monday morning, again, still hungover, might I add, in high school. They would come back into class, talk about how they went cow tipping. I mean, white kids do goofy shit. You feel me? Like, they knock over people's mailboxes, they go cow tipping, they toilet paper their neighborhoods. Like, don't talk to me about the vandalism and the littering that Black people do in their neighborhoods. White folks just clean up they shit quicker. They just clean up they shit quicker. That's it. But trust me, a nigga talking like that is going to get a job real quick. Real quick. Fret not. Fret not. Because there are people that do subscribe to Don Lemon's brand of bullshit. I was searching in vain trying to find a clip when Don Lemon was posted up in Ferguson after the murder of Michael Brown. And Ferguson, the Missouri niggas ran him the fuck up off the block that day. I was looking for that. I was like, God damn, why couldn't I find that when they told Don Lemon to get the fuck off the block? Because that was classic. I loved it. But again, I don't really have I am usually sympathetic and empathetic to people in the media field when they lose their jobs, especially losing their jobs unexpectedly, some shit that they weren't, walking into work thinking was going to happen that day. Part of me has some compassion in that direction, but not for a coon ass respectability nigga like that. Because that's how he got his job. That's how he kept his job. And that's how he's going to get another top flight, well compensated job talking that same shit. He might even go over to Fox. That sounds like some Larry Elder shit, does it not? The thing that Don Lemon just ran down. He might even go over to Fox, ladies and gentlemen. So don't cry for Don, Argentina. Everything's going to be okay. But don't let people, I saw a tiny bit of this on Twitter, but I didn't stay too long on Twitter to really get the full temperature. But Don Lemon is not some martyr out here. Don Lemon is not somebody that we need to feel empathy for. Don Lemon is a pound cake purveyor, right? A pound cake speech purveyor. Pull your pants up, Black people. Don't have babies out of wedlock, Black people. Da 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 da. Where's your criticism for America, Don Lemon? Where's your criticism for the ways that people's labor is exploited and most people can't afford to live, eat, pay rent, have health care, send their kids to a quality school? Like, again, where are those criticisms? There are none, because you cannot criticize the system that America is built upon and expect to have a job on a mainstream cable network at any time. Prime time, morning time, drive time, whatever. They will never let somebody on television in one of those slots talking that shit. Talking that real radical revolutionary shit. It'll never happen. So fuck Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon. Just for the record, fuck white supremacy, fuck respectability, fuck those people that make their careers off of propagating those things specifically. I just love that it came on the same day. That was a bit of a surprise. I said, ooh. Twofer. Go ahead, Mercury in retrograde. Mercury in retrograde came out swinging, and I am here for the shit. So anyway, guys, that is the program. Wait. Infinite Content. Hold on, Infinite Content. I saw that you had supported the channel with a super chat. I certainly support that. Hold on. Let me read your comment because Mama, if you listening, if my mother is watching, can y'all please ask my mother to take me to Vision Works on Thursday so I can go get some reading glasses? My mom keeps telling me, you know, CVS got reading glasses. I said, Mama, I don't want to be getting elbowed while niggas trying to get to the Tide. Niggas trying to get to the Dayquil while I'm trying on reading glasses. Let me go to the good Vision Works. And Vision Works ain't sponsoring shit over here. I just does Vision Works in proximity. Shout out to you, Derek D. Fuller. Thank you so much for your support right there. And big up to my bruv, Infinite Content. What'd you tell me here, Infinite Content? Because I gotta make shit bigger. What'd you say here? You said some of those tapes were found from the Grossman defamation. Against Still. No, against Fox News. Thank you so much for that. Yes, I was curious. Against Fox News. And what does that say? It says, yes. And the Smartastic is still in the wing. That is a thank you so much for telling me that, Infinite Content. Yeah, because I was curious where they get Tucker Carlson's text from. Because, you know, I mean, Tucker Carlson ain't no genius, but he ain't dumb to be texting on the company phone, I don't think. So anyway, thank you so much for that clarification there. Infinite Content, I appreciate it. Shout out to you, Aggressive Progressive. Am I spreading hate or what? Yeah, I am spreading hate. I hate Aggressive Progressive. Are you new? You're not new here, Aggressive Progressive. I hate people that subscribe to white supremacy, like Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon. I hate respectable ass Negroes and white people who encourage Negro respectability. Yes, I have a lot of hate. I hate a lot. I have a lot of hate. I love the people, but I hate stupid shit. Count on that, Aggressive Progressive. Love you to the pieces, though. Thank you so much, Shirley. Thank you so much, Dawn. What's up, Afra? Afra Sings. You guys follow Afra on Instagram at Afra Sings. Afra posts wonderful, wonderful content. Thank you so much, Franny France. Is my girly Sweary Fairy in here? Thank you to my son, Tyler. What's up to D? Always. Peace, Nawadi. Thank you so much for your support, my dear. Oh, Yippa99. What's going on? Love you to pieces. Thank you, Tony, for your support. And Phil. And big up to Warren Register. I seen you in here. Appreciate you, baby. So anyway, guys, I'm going to push off. I will see you guys back on the Remix Morning Show tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. I'm not doing Status Quo tomorrow. I do Status Quo every other Wednesday because I believe Jordan and the crew are going on the road. I actually think they're in Flint. Did I see that correctly, everybody? Status Quo is going to Flint. I think they're going back to East Palestine. Jordan is getting heavy on the environmental justice beat, which, of course, I support. So support Status Quo and the on-the-ground reporting that the good folks over there are going to be doing. And of course, always support BPM and support Kalechi Okafor's YouTube channel as well. All right, guys, I'm gone. On behalf of Will and Miley, we will see y'all back here on Friday, gang. I love you, Fire Fam. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.